What's up? It's Volchek with Cribs and Frames. Check it out. So what I've been doing I think is genius. It's the way I manage my files on these SD cards, right? So what we usually do as photographers, right? We move files and then we plug these into our camera, hit format, boom, fresh card. Bravissimo. It's great, but the problem is every once in a while, there's something happened with moving the files. In fact, you may have moved the files but now you can't find them. And you formatted the card. Fuck. I mean, wow, right? So that has happened to so many of us, myself included, for so many years. I mean, I've done it countless times, no matter how much of post-work production workflow I had that I've experimented with moving to. I mean, I even bought like dedicated SD drives, wired hard drives, you name it. I've tried it. USB drive that you plug. I've done so many different ways to manage my files, and no matter what I did, I still managed to lose my files. And I've happened to go back and reshoot the house or reshoot a wedding. No. So get ready. Here's how to do it. Take notes. You will need a card reader that reads simultaneously. I think I said it right. Reads both cards simultaneously together. Remember, these are 1/4 terabyte each, so it holds a lot of data. So here's how we're gonna do it. Let's check out my nifty way to do it. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. Okay, so here's my Finder. So let's first go into the SD card belonging to my camera. So as you see here, there's gonna be one familiar, oh shit, this isn't, I was using a wrong SD card today. Let's go into an SD card for my drone first, and then I'll show you. So here you will see a bunch of folders with a bunch of dates. And then an old familiar DCIM folder. You go into here, and then you see, a different folder that your drone also makes. You go into here, and here's all your files. So now, this being a drone, most likely this is going to be a DJI drone that everybody has, right? So what you want to do now, we shot brackets. It's like any other HDR thing, right? We shot brackets. So I shoot 5 brackets. You might shoot 3 brackets. It doesn't matter. What matters is, I did it specifically. Somewhere in here, we did photos that are wide angle lens, right? So what it does, it stitches a photo together and puts it there. So now we don't have, and it's somewhere buried in there, right? So now we have to find it. So all these wide angle shots, they usually have what? They have bigger file size. So first what we want to do, we want to find biggest JPEGs. 1 and 2 and 3. So these are probably going to be just big JPEGs anyway, but here's your wide. Boom, there it is. So now I'm going to rename it wide. Right? And if there's several of them, wide 1, wide 2, wide 3. I don't have to go too crazy. So now that we've done that, let's organize everything by its kind. And wide, because it's going to be different file name, is going to be all the way at the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to select all the JPEGs conveniently. We're going to right click, and then we're going to create, so first of all, it says it right there. That's why I love Macs. I love the file management, how clean it is, and you can create a whole new folder with just the right click. I love it, and it shows you how many files in there. So this divides by 5, so perfect, chef's kiss. Mwah. And then we're gonna, without being too creative, we're just gonna put JPEGs in there. That's what we're gonna name the folder JPEGs. And these are JPEGs for the day because we're gonna edit them ourselves. We're not sending it to the editor. Okay. So now that we have that, we're gonna start our. Might as well give you a bonus and show you how we do it. So I just apply a realistic preset, nothing too crazy, and then I just merge them all. So then we just select it from here, all the way from the top. Come down to the bottom, select, and then just run it. And while this is running, you're doing the rest of the stuff. So now we're gonna go ahead, well, first of all, I'm gonna get the right card from today's shoot. All right, so this is 35mm card, and I don't like them. These are just backups. I guess I left my 250 gigabyte here. I don't know what happened. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So what happens here now, as you see, we have video files in the drone. The drone doesn't distinguish between video, photo, it just dumps everything in that one media folder. But we need to move these to video folder. So we're gonna have to create a new window. Go to, so my Sigma camera puts photos in DCIM and video in cinema folder. So we've got to go to the cinema folder. Yep. And then just move these with command. When you're holding the command button, it's actually going to move the files. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to copy things, blah, blah, blah. You want to move them. You know what I mean? So, no, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving. Oh my God. So while it's moving, let's not waste any more time and manage our photos. We're going to go back here just for safety reasons, because there's a lot of things going on, you know, I'm like screen recording and blah, blah, blah. Let's go here. So we have this DCIM folder, right? I'm gonna go in there. We're gonna have the Sigma folder in there. And I have two houses in here, so I look by timestamps. So that's my first house. You see how it's 10 a.m. and then 2 p.m. Obviously today. So what I would do is I just rename it. And what are these files? They're raw, right? So I would just rename it raw 1. Simple. We don't need to complicate any of this. And then the second house here, oh man, I think I went all out. Yeah, it's like a 3-bedroom townhouse. She's a good client. We're moving. So now basically the philosophy here is that you don't need to know the address. You don't need to think about the address. You don't need to think about anything like that. Never mind the address, you know? It's like, oh my God, it's bad enough you're driving to it. Okay, so now they're ready to move to their address folders. Now that's obviously is necessary to keep that organized in the cloud by address. But you don't need to have everything have its address there, you know what I mean? Especially like when you're searching Google folder by address, you don't want like 10 different folders to show up and you're like scratching your head, which freaking folder do I click to get to this or that. Okay, so thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let's continue. So now, oh my God. So now, oh God, I must press on. Raw 2, okay, good. This is still, okay, so just checking in with this thing. This is gonna be slow because we're doing so many things here. Oh yeah, let's check in. Okay, it moved. So the files, the video files have moved. Boom, voila. So this isn't over because this is what we're gonna do. So since we moved the video, we're gonna move this folder now. Everything is organized here. Yeah, exactly. So now I'm gonna put video in here. Video 1, right? There's only one house that I shot, but I'm still gonna put video 1 just to keep it going, you know. And I'm gonna move it to DCIM. And now I'm going, since this is all organized, I am going to now upload these to my cloud. So this is my cloud. And everything's organized here by the addresses that I was shooting today. I'm gonna check with my calendar. I don't remember the addresses I shot today. 2501, here it is. So this is where raw 1 is gonna go. Because this was the first house, raw 1. Well, okay, so the idea here's the idea, because I can't continue. So let's pretend we do the raw 1 here, and then we find another address, and then we move raw 2, yada yada. In the end, and this is how you know that you've done everything. In the end, maybe the next day, hopefully not next day, maybe in the evening before you go to bed or whatever your thing is. The point is, you rename this file only after you've uploaded everything into the date this was taken, right? What is it, 7? Hello? 5-8. And that's it. And now when you take this out, you keep these files, you take out the card, you plug it in there, and the camera doesn't know it from having it be any different from a formatted card. It reads no files on this card because it's not in the DCIM folder anymore, okay? And your previous files are archived in this matter. So when you have a big card like this, at quarter terabyte, you're able to keep about a month worth of houses on your card. So when you have an agent who 3 weeks ago shot the house with you is finally getting around to putting a house on the market, and then discover, oh man, can we like there's something missing, right? And now, yeah, like for example, so let's say the scenario is you were uploading something and just let's say you were uploading something that day, and out of habit you closed your laptop maybe half hour later, and there was some interruption in the internet. The point is, not all your files got uploaded, but you're sure that they did, right? And if you would have formatted your card, goodbye files. And they're calling you up, and then they're saying, hey, listen, I can't find the other bedrooms. You just shot primary bedroom, backyard, and that's it. Like, wow, where's the rest of it? And you go to your cloud, and there's no rest of it, but you know you shot them, right? And if you were anything like me, like I said, you know, you would format the card and goodbye the rest of the house, you know, because that was 3 weeks ago, you know. Or perhaps you've moved the files first to your hard drive and, you know, your cable got unplugged. Who knows? Things have happened before like that. But if everything is on the card, it's just a different file name, you know, folder even, not even a file name, you can go back easily 3 weeks ago, open to that date, figure what if it was the second shoot or the third shoot of the day, first shoot of the day, you know exactly which file to go. Row 1, row 2, row 3. And, you know, this has saved me at least dozens of times, if not more. And I remember going back to houses because I had formatted a card, and I haven't done that in probably 2 years now. Knock on wood. Yeah. So this is a great example. So, you know, let's compare it to what I have. Let me just exactly show you what I have on this card, and I've kind of gave you that preview before, right? There, right? So I have certain video. So, you know, 4/8. Today's 5/8. Row 1, row 2. You know, these are houses that I'm probably going to delete now. This was taken April 8th. That's a month ago. I think this is. I'm going to review this. I'm going to make sure that this house is listed. I certainly do know that this one is listed. Yeah, this one's good. I mean, honestly, I'm just doing it because I'm recording this, but this is a good practice, right? Just kind of review and make sure that, yeah, I remember delivering this. I don't. Actually, yeah. So we'll just delete this. So it's been a month. You can definitely say, hey, listen, I'm gonna delete this. And you just, all right, so let's take a look. So this is my breakdown of the card, the quarter terabyte card. You see, I have dates, I have other things that I've renamed and thus became something that, like, long-term archive. But this is the date right here, so it's about a month ago, so I can easily say, you know, I can probably review it a little bit. Row 1, row 2, okay, nothing out of ordinary. Sometimes there's something in there that might be ordinary, but nothing out of, so for example, voodoo. I know that this is voodoo. I might want to maybe hang on to it a little longer for this video. Maybe I'll do something different for this video, I'm not quite sure. Maybe I'll send it to a different editor, who knows? But I think I'm just gonna get rid of this date here and I'm gonna archive it. Yeah, this is old as well. Oh yeah. So yeah, I can delete all this. Great, so that's it. That's how, like, I upkeep the space on this card. I go back a month, delete these, but usually nothing crazy happens after a month. Like if an agent hasn't listed the house a month from when you shot it, or discovered something a month into it, and you happen to be, you know, missing these files, well, get a terabyte card, who knows, you know. But so far I've been doing pretty good with this system, and I definitely recommend using this system so that you always have a backup. Also, continuing on a post-production theme, let's check in with our batching here, and I'll show you real quick on how to keep records of your drone shots. So I know that these drone shots are going to go right back into the folder where they came from under a different folder name. So let's just head there. We already renamed it. No, we did not. DCIM. JPEGs. So for example, I'll just take this as an example. Okay. So let's say you're doing plot lines on Photoshop right here. So you're doing brush. Let's say that this is a lot right here. let's just say figuratively speaking, that this is a lot right here, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our brush tool. We're gonna click we're holding shift. We're gonna click on this here, and then we just click, boom, shift, and it creates a line. We'll continue to hold shift, boop, 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 in that nature. And there it is. Now, you may be wrong. So you don't wanna save it over. Okay, you don't wanna save over that file. What you wanna do is you wanna create save a copy, okay, and it creates this, it just puts it itself, copy. And when you save it, now you're gonna have two versions. A version before, well, currently you don't have a version before. You have to close this, right? So now you have a new copy file with lines. Then you have to close it, and it's gonna ask you to save. You have to say don't save, because if you save, that defeats the purpose of this whole thing. So don't save, and now you have two copies, one with lines and one without. And I deliver both, because if I mess up, an agent is capable enough to do their own lines, they'll do their own lines. Or they'll tell me, hey, you drew wrong lines, and I have a copy of them. So this is how I do this non-destructively. And conveniently, everything is on that card. This is so organized. I'm telling you, this is the best organization thing ever. And yeah, you can tell me that, hey, what about it? What if the drone, what if you lose the drone? If I lose the drone, yeah, I probably have more problems than losing some files that should have been delivered in the first place, right? Or you know, this is just backup. So we can't back up for everything, right? So this, I would rather have one big giant discomfortable situation if I lose my drone and along with it the files, than suffer from all these painful post-production acrobatics that I've done previously with all the drives and moving files into different, oh my God, and then looking for them. Jesus Christ. I'm already handling the SD card. Why not keep everything on the SD card? Okay, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, 360. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put an arrow into where this apartment is. Okay, so yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my arrow. Whoo, giant. But remember, this is just a panorama. Come on. There it is. Maybe I'll do some shade, maybe? I have a bunch of action. We'll touch upon actions in a later video. This is just maybe like a little preview. Oh, yeah, I know what I did. I'm gonna flatten the layer and then apply shadow. How's that? Yeah, I like this a little bit better. All right, then we're gonna save this. And this with arrow, I can override it because I'm certain that this is the apartment, you know. So with arrow, I don't normally practice the non-destructive two file format type of deal. That's it. So let's go back to our wide here, JPEGs. So here, you know, I don't really care. I can move the wide into JPEGs, but it really doesn't matter. We don't really need these files. There's a setting in the drone to like not have these files written. So that's it for the drone, except that, oh, and this my batch editing has stopped. So now that we're pretty much done with the drone, move the files. It is safe now to. So we're done with the drone, and when we're done with the drone, we can finally rename it to today's date, and the post-production is over. Well, except we have to put the arrows on the drone pictures. Yeah, we'll do that later. That's like procrastinator's addiction. Later, we'll do this later. God, I just don't want to procrastinate. Plus, we already started. I don't know what we already renamed our folder as if we were done. Okay, so here we are. I don't know what the hell is this timeline. Ugh, that's annoying. That's so annoying, actually. Oh, hallelujah. So yeah, so this is a different video. I don't want to even go there. This is a different video, okay, y'all? So ideally, you would have done this before you put a date on that folder. Although, whatever. I think this is a good ending to it, is not to procrastinate. Some inspiration here, not to procrastinate. But at the very least, you've managed your files. You've done everything that you could. You've even edited all the drone pictures. All you have to do is just add a final touch through Photoshop or Lightroom. I like Lightroom, but Photoshop, you have to go to Photoshop anyway for the arrow, and I just end up being lazy and just using Photoshop. All right, I think I've done enough here in explaining how my post-production file management workflow works. Go out there, get that 1/4 terabyte or a terabyte card. The bigger the better, obviously, but I think the 1/4 terabyte is a great entry level at an affordable price. You obviously have to get the fastest one. This one is a SanDisk Extreme Pro, and I think the 1/4 will run you at about just under $100, maybe even less. Actually, let's not just bullshit ourselves here. Let's just head out and check it out. SD card. I can't even spell card right. Oh my god. Okay, so it's just $35. So this SD card is just $35. It's great. This is exactly what I have. Now, don't get this for your drone. Get the golden one. I don't know. This one, I bought it and it gave me such a hard time, and I wasn't able to use any of that. So get this one instead. So weird. Yeah, I had like trouble with this one for some reason, and I have no trouble with this. Anyway, so get the 1/4 terabyte and keep those files as an archive. Well, I guess like even a better idea, instead of deleting like I earlier told you, you could theoretically move those into, let's say, see, I have this backup here. You could move those files to your backup. I'm just like not about that. It's like just get rid of this thing altogether. Oh yeah, so I guess this is the, yeah, let's just move it, right? Row 1, and then I had another house here at 12 cents. Row 2. Now here I also had video. Well, actually this should be video 2, because that was a second house. You see how this goes? So this was raw 2, video 2. Huh? Makes sense. Yeah, very good. And that's it. So now that's it. Now I'm calm. Now like my heart even just like started beating calmer because I've actually uploaded this. So now what happens is, the reason why I wait usually to rename this folder into a date folder, the DCIM folder to a date folder, is when I'm uploading, I can't rename it because I've done it. It will rename it, but then it'll cause all these errors here because now Google Cloud can't find that file because it's now in a different directory, right? Because you renamed the folder. So anyway, I'm out.